Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0. I'm joined by Stephen Howson right there. Just a horrendous performance, that wasn't it? Is like, what stood out to you in particular that was so bad tonight?
Attitude, work rate, the fact that on paper, I would argue that both of those teams are quite close. I don't think there's a huge gulf in quality. This isn't fucking Barnsley rocking up at the Etihad, is it? You know what I mean? I would argue that both of those teams are pretty close in terms of the talent that they can call on paper. Now, the form and the actual performances that are being put out by ours are nowhere near the level they are. And not even just is it the performance, but the attitude, the willingness to work, the cohesion as a team. I don't even know if there was bad decisions made by United today, but it was just no decisions made by United today. It was such a passive, weak, shit performance.
Yeah. I mean, I called it a non-performance on the review. It was like we just went out there and decided to do nothing. Like, how much of... I mean, I don't want it to be a proportional blame thing, players, manager, but what do you think is leading to this? Because it feels to me every time we play a half-decent team this season, we look something like that. Like, if they let us, last 10 minutes, they let us attack them and we looked, all right then. But whenever they were trying to attack us, we had no answer, not just to their attacks, but then no way to turn that into counter-attacks. What's leading to this, do you think?
Well, what was our midfield? It's Kobe Mainoo, I think, is a very bright academy prospect, but this is his second ever Premier League start.
Yeah.
And we're asking him, can we go to one of the toughest places to go to in the country and pull something out of your ass? Not really fair on him. I actually don't think he had a bad game. We did see him run today, though, Joe.
Yeah.
And that was quite worrying because he ain't the quickest.
Not that quick.
I know. I think he had a great game again. He's very clinical in possession and so calm with it. That's good. But it's Kobe Mainoo and Scott McTominay who just fucking hides, and Bruno. That's our midfield. And they overloaded that midfield. Rashford was just like completely half-arsing every single off-the-ball duty. Garnacho was barely any better. I think he needs a man Mark Trippier, and he kind of remembered that sometimes and got in front of him, but it wasn't Ander Herrera or fucking Eden Hazard level of fucking keeping hold of him, was it? Anthony Martial's a fucking warm body in a shirt. Like, you get fuck all out of him. I mean, there was times when he was going to press people and forget. And then I thought Harry Maguire was probably man of the match.
Yeah.
But the fact he's partnering Luke Shaw in defence, here's the thing, Luke Shaw is capable of putting in a good performance. We've seen that. Luke Shaw's not a centre-half to deal with someone like fucking Isaac coming at him. And defensively, Delow's not quite Luke Shaw either. So what's happening is we're going to these places with an absolutely fucking cobbled-together 11, and we're getting turned over because we're not fucking good. Like, we're just not good.
But how?
And we're being outworked.
Why are we being outworked? Because
that's attitude. That's down to the players.
You think?
Like, the manager can scream to this blue in the fucking face. Once he crossed the white line, that's on him. Like, there's every single manager would like to go, my team works the hardest. Doesn't always work like that. Someone's going to not work as hard.
What do you put that down to then? Because to me, I think hard work is an attitude and not just happiness. Happiness is the wrong word for it, but maybe belief thing. I feel like hard work comes with, we're all in this together, we know what the plan is, let's work hard. Newcastle couldn't be working harder, so it's a great comparison between the two teams. Do you think they're not working hard because they're pissed off with the manager? They're pissed off with not being able to get a flight to Newcastle? They think that they're the shit? Why are they not working hard? Because that's a confidence and an application thing that doesn't come from quality. Why aren't they willing to work hard or feel unable to work hard?
I have no idea. And I couldn't put it down to the fact that they had to get a bus up there today, because where's that work rate and attitude and performance been all season? It just has not been there. It hasn't been there at all. And, I don't know.
Yeah.
We spoke about how fucking intense and lengthy preseason was, but at the same time, I also don't know if fitness is a gas tank, right? If you're not quite as fit as your opposition, you still start the race at the same speed.
Yeah.
You just conk out earlier.
I know.
So how is the first 10 minutes? That's not a fitness thing. When Newcastle run us off the park in the first 20 minutes, that is not a fitness thing. That is entirely an attitude thing.
Yeah.
So if the players are struggling under the weight of games they've played in the last 12 months, if they're struggling under the weight of the injuries that have been hanging over us or whatever it is, that affects the second half of the second half.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect the first minute and the first 5 minutes. I think the gas tank is the perfect fucking analogy for it, because it runs out quicker, but it starts at the same speed. And it should, it can decrease faster or lower, you can burn more or whatever, but you should still start at the same fucking speed. And we just don't start at the same speed. And you can see it when it's time to recover a ball back. Newcastle get, if not the entire team, 10 of them behind the ball.
Yeah.
And what we've got, 6, 7 sometimes, it's fucking wank. And it's an attitude thing.
Yeah.
And if they are pissed off with the manager, which probably some of them are, we need to fucking grow up and recognise that you're a professional.
But in an industry where the difference between winning and losing is a couple of percent. Today it wasn't, but in grander terms, it's not huge differences, is it? Is the confidence and the attitude being instilled from the top down? That could be the difference, though, couldn't it? Like, yes, they should be able to do it themselves, but my worry is, because I love Ten Hag and I think he's a very good manager, but my worry is if there's a consistent inability to make the team work hard, even though it's them who ain't working hard, some of it has to come from the manager, doesn't it? The belief and the energy and the excitement. Newcastle didn't invent it. That came from with Howe and their new confidence as a club, didn't it? Like, should Ten Hag be making them one way or another, or helping them to have that application? Does that worry you that he's not been able to do that?
I think so much of this is down to the 11 that you're able to get out. And I think that just the abject lack of a midfield has hurt us. The abject lack of a defence has hurt us previously, although we are starting to get some of those personnel back. How match fit they are is up for anyone's guess. But the fact that you've had... what annoyed me all the way through the game today, the commentators was droning on about how many players Newcastle had out. And it was never offered up once that United might have struggled a little bit this season on the back of basically having our entire first choice defence not there.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, Mason Mount, that new signing, why does he look shit? Well, he's fucking injured, right? Yeah. So he can't look good when he don't play because he's injured. Højlund, who was like, all of our hopes kind of got pinned on, been injured. Casemiro, who was so fucking transformative for us last season, injured, alongside Eriksen, injured.
Yeah.
And you think,
Martinez as well, huge miss.
Martinez, he's out until after Christmas or just before Christmas, and then I don't know what the fuck's going on with Rafael Varane. He might have tossed it off in a Sancho style. I have no fucking idea, but like, what manager is dealing with all of that successfully? Tell me.
It's not easy to picture how you could deal with that successfully, is it? I mean, let's say you're Ten Hag. We do, regardless of the injuries, this and the other, we've got another game in 3 days, we've got another game in 7 days, and you've got to be there and you've got to try and win. And at some point, injuries aside, if you're 8th at Christmas, that might be it for you. What do you do this week, next week, sort of short to medium term, to try and get something going here? Because we said it on the review. Every time United play a difficult team this season, we lose. Every single time. How do we stop that happening before it's too late for Ten Hag?
I thought we were actually looking at least in the first half, a performance that we actually can successfully play out on the back foot. Now, it didn't feel like we intended for that to happen. It felt more like a consequence of what was happening rather than that was our game plan, was to hit them on the counter. It felt like we just got pressed back, but we might get them on the counter, especially when Garnacho broke early in the first half and then had the fucking weakest shot the world's ever seen. Yeah. I thought there was a chance there that this might be how today plays off, and I'd have liked that because that's a box we that isn't ticked under Ten Hag. We've not won ugly deliberately under Ten Hag, and I was like, that's something I would like to see us sort of tick off. What would I do? I'd fuck off the midweek training. I'd give them all the week off, or up until like fucking Tuesday off, and I'd go on an absolute fucking biblical bender tomorrow night.
Sunday night in China White.
There's a psychological reason for this. I think this United team is playing under pressure at the moment from every fucking angle. And I think there's a lot of things that people need to say and haven't said. So no phones, no wives, no girlfriends, not your fucking cousin, your agent, no fucker. The squad and the staff are going on the smash, whether it's at Carrington or around at fucking Ten Hag's fucking pool party. Whatever it is, we're going to have a lock-in and we're going to just fucking get it into it until everyone's said everything they need to fucking say to each other, and then we can be adult and professional and grown up afterwards and fucking start fighting for each other. Because one more fucking running session Monday morning is doing fuck all.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we win at the weekend.
Yeah.
One more fucking set pieces drill ain't going to fucking turn a corner for us. What has to change is the attitude and the mood. Yeah. And the only way you change the attitude and the mood is by doing something that you ain't done before. And I think doing something like just a fucking absolute sesh. Like, what's our recovery? We're going to be drinking fucking Bud Light Limes in the pool. And then after that, we're getting stuck right into it. Are we in on Monday? You're not going to be able to fucking see straight on Monday. So no, we're not in Monday. Tuesday, we'll do a little bit of shape work for the attacking and defending set plays. I'll do an 11v11 with the 11 who are starting, and then we'll go fucking parcel up Chelsea Wednesday night. Yeah. Plan. That's what they need to fucking do.
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. Yeah, it does.
And do you know what's mad? Yeah. Is the more that I chat to some ex-pros, that fucking happens.
Yeah, I know. People will listen to you and think, what the fuck are you on about, Steve? Like, the answer must be within a tactic. It must be within, some numbers on a board. And sometimes it's just about making people a bit happier and a bit more free and a bit less burdened with all the stress of the job and the media and the performances. So maybe something like that would help. They look like they've not
been out.
Yeah.
They didn't let them out, remember, on pre-season tour. And like the more ex-pros that I chat to, the more of them are like, whenever they go on pre-season tour, and this is going to sound so counter to what everyone assumes these players are like, but they're young lads in their 20s that are in pretty good nick and they're rich. All they want to do is get fired into all the fucking birds in the local bars, right? That's what they're fucking absolutely motivated by right now. It ain't fucking banging a hat trick at Anfield, trust me. It's about how much rat can they fucking get into. That's all they're bothered about at the moment. So they didn't get let out on pre-season, so that's going to have been building like a pressure cooker. Then they've got all of these injuries, all of the media at them, everything going against us. They just need to get on the sauce. That's what they need to do.
There you go.
And that's going to change the mood.
Something needs to change.
There's countless books of it. Like, it is a little bit more not necessarily the thing that was done at United in peak Fergie times, right? But that can't be the answer to everything nowadays. But it was one in a particularly fucking good season. And following the Rager, we didn't lose a game. And that was the Christmas party 1999. Or 98, 99. And it was, by all accounts, it was just biblical. And it was ridiculous. And it was like people would get absolutely off their nut, fall asleep by 6 o'clock, throw up and come back to the party. Like, that's what they need. They need a finger, and then afterwards they've got it out of the system. They've had a fucking one-to-one and a heart-to-heart with Steve McLaren, with Eric Ten Hag, and with Bruno, and with anybody that they need to fucking speak to. They've got everything off the fucking chest, and they realise that actually we're all in this together, and let's fucking get after it.
Yeah. Right, there you go. There's the plan. Ten Hag, if you're listening, let them get absolutely bladdered. Not let them, force them to get absolutely bladdered tomorrow night. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for watching at home as well. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0. We'll see you in a bit.